Hey there, welcome to Hermit Haven. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jackie. We're so excited to invite you into our safe space. Hermit Haven is like a cozy little hideout where we celebrate being confident in ourselves as we find happiness in quiet moments.
So grab your favorite blanket and your favorite drink, and let's dive into today's episode.
Hi, I'm Jackie. Welcome back to Hermit Haven.
Hi, I'm Ashley. We're so excited to have you this week. This week, we're going to be talking about our 2026 vision and goals. And I think last year we really dived into like a vision board, but I think this year, I think we've really truly learned that that's just like a flat surface idea, right? And like a vision board's great. It's a great tool, but we've been having such amazing vision, and what does that mean to us? And like how does this vision also align with goals? Because I feel like so many times that part of like your goals is missing, right? You need that vision too. So I'm really excited. This is going to be a fun episode because guess what? This is episode 60. Woohoo! So every fifth episode, we try to do a fun little episode. So we're going to keep this lighthearted. We're going to keep this fun. No like crazy like deepness here, but you know us. We're going to go deep anyway because that is who we are.
Okay, I won't say anything about that. Yeah, Ashley and I have been talking a lot about just like this is the stuff we always talk about when we're not recording, and we love growth. Like we love self growth, but I think in order to know where you want to go, I mean, you can know where you want to go and who you want to, be like your next level, but you have to kind of reflect back on like who you've been. Like, okay, I want to be this person. Who have I been? How do I change from, this to the next level? And I think it's really important to kind of like look back on the year and see not just, what you want to change, but like all the wins. I think we forget. It's so easy to think about the little one, like few negative things and forget all these amazing things that have happened. And even if it's not like huge, crazy, whatever you think of as crazy wins, like little wins are huge. If I was able to push a negative thought out of my brain and let it go, for me, that's a huge win. Like, so I think just reflecting is going to help you know where you want to go, because sometimes like this time last year I didn't know what my goals would even be. Like I don't know, I was in this like limbo weird space. I think I remember saying that on the episode too. Like I was like, I don't even know what I want really. Like I kind of have a vision for who I want to be, but I don't even really know what I want to do. Like I don't know. And so that's okay also.
Yeah.
If you don't really know, but I think if you reflect back, then you can know like just what little things about your identity. And for me personally, that's where I went with, I already have made my vision board because it is a lot the same as last year's vision board. And I've been really, really reflecting on what I've been working on this year. And when I say what I've been working on, I'm saying like like mentally things that I've been working on, like, Ashley and I were just talking about this, but like validating myself. That's a huge thing that I'm still working on, that I've been working on, slowing down, pulling back, not it's almost like I get a grip on something, and I'm like, but if I let go, then like it's gonna all go away or whatever. And just kind of being like, let go. Like it's okay. Take a step back. Cause sometimes slowing down helps you go faster forward, So
Yeah.
I don't know, just little things like that I've been working on myself. And so I took that approach to my vision board of like, what things do I want to continue to work on, or new things that I, almost like a habit. It is kind of like a habit, isn't it? It's not like a physical habit, but a lot of them for me are like mental habits that I want to form, like the validation thing. So anyway, that's where I went with my vision board.
I love that though. And so Jackie has her board done. I do not have my board done. I just haven't literally been in the mental place to even do it. I think that's very important when you're doing these type of things, like really being able to sit down and like relax your mind and like actually being able to think is so important. Like that's just my idea. Like I feel like I just need like that setting, like cozy candle, like maybe take a nice bath first, like and it's just been a crazy couple weeks. So
Yep.
I've not made my vision board yet, but I remember last year making my vision board, and really like it was me honing into becoming a mother and praying like this pregnancy goes great and like I get to hold this baby at the end, like and I think that's like the thing too is like how amazing like you can look at last year's and this year's and be like, whoa, what happened? But something I'm gonna be doing different this year compared to last year is I don't want to create this like yearly goal. I don't want to create this like yearly like vision board, this yearly checklist. Like I want it just to be for 6 months. Like 6 months sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. 6 months just happened so fast, right? Like we went from August to end of December in no time. Like somehow it's the end of summer and now it's like the end of like December, right?
Yep.
And I think we don't realize how fast time goes because when we look at a calendar, we're like, oh, there's no way that's going to go that fast, right? But I always hear this about like parenting. I think this is just like in general, like the days are long, but the years are short. And I think it's just that's what it is, right? And we don't realize it and we get so caught up. So I want to hold myself accountable this year more to check in with myself more. I feel like there was a lot of times of the year where I would just sit and feel lost. Like I didn't feel like I was like accomplishing anything and I didn't know what I was supposed to be accomplishing, which is fine too, right? That's completely fine. But that means I'm not checking in with myself, right? I'm not being honest with myself. So I think something like I really want to work on this year is just creating more stop points in the year to check in, right? Like and be more honest with myself, right? Weekly check-ins or maybe are just not a thing anymore. Like I have a baby, like, finding a time every Sunday to check in weekly is just maybe not it, but maybe I still want to do my content weekly. So I'll use that time instead of do my content, right? And I'm going to do maybe monthly check-ins instead. And I think I want to get back to, I'm not going to lie, I dropped the monthly vision board once I had Ari. And I think I want to try to get back to that. Like, and I think that's expressing to Matt, being like, hey, Matt, I need as one Sunday, this is, telling him this is my Sunday. You're off every Sunday. This is my Sunday. I need myself. I'm going to go
Yeah.
lock myself in my office and just come feed me coffee and food all day, please. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's
Yeah.
important too, is like setting yourself up for success. And sometimes it is putting yourself first and but you have to create that space, right? So that's really like, I don't know where I'm going with my vision yet. I don't know what I want, but I really want to continue to grow who I am as a person, as a mom, as a creator, as a podcast host with Jackie. Like these are, I think I was talking to ChatGPT about this. We were talking about this a couple episodes ago, but ChatGPT said my word should be rooted. I should be rooted in everything this year, like rooted in my podcast, rooted in this, rooted in that. And I love that idea of just like creating like truly working on creating the root and not overthinking it, like not overthinking the goal, not over like I feel like every year I go, I'm gonna make $5,000. Like I probably did make $5,000 this year and I didn't even check, right? Like who knows, right? But I think having like a more like sustainable goal, like I'm gonna make an extra $100 this month. And then once I accomplish that goal, all right, I accomplished it. Let's move up. Like I'm gonna make an extra $200 this month, or there was one month I was so proud of myself. And these are the things too, is I think if you're not checking in with yourself, you don't realize that you are accomplishing what you want to accomplish. So like sorry, y'all. Not really sorry, but Ari's just hanging out with us, playing next to us. But there was one month I wrote down like all the samples I got, and I was just like, wow, that's a lot of free samples I got from the TikTok shop. Like I wouldn't even realize how many samples I got if I didn't write it down. So I think that's another like big goal this year is really creating a space where I can check in with myself and not make it like extra work either. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really excited for this year. I'm excited just like I feel like this year I finally have like the freedom part I've been needing for a long time. And that's what I've been working on is like how then to use that time. And so I'm really excited to have more time to do things that I love. And what I mean by that is like creating content that really speaks to me. Like I want to get back into vlogging. And even if that just means like once a month vlogs, like it doesn't like I don't want to overthink it, right? Like whatever speaks to me is what I'm gonna do, right? And I think another thing, like I want to spend more time on don't come for me, but my book obsession is going out of hand. But we are working on 1,000 books before kindergarten for Ari, and it's new books, not old books. So like we're like if I read Goodnight Moon 5 times, that doesn't count, right? Goodnight Moon only counts once. So this is a big goal. So it's breaking down, okay, how are we going to accomplish this goal? Also, Ari's going to be 1 in April. So it's really starting in April from, April to the next April is really starting to teach him, right? Right now we're just working on basic skills, sensory, play, all that. But like, from April to the next year, like I want to be able to teach him. I want us to have real lessons. I want us to go over the ABCs. I want us to learn about holidays. Like, it doesn't matter if it connects fully with him yet, but him hearing these ideas, seeing these experiences, like, that's what I want for my son. So I feel like those are my goals for next year. Is and then like our podcast, right? I can talk about this for hours if you can't help it. Like, our podcast is another thing. Like, Jackie and I don't, again, you guys are not going to see what we're doing because so much of this happens behind the scenes, but we work so hard to have the mental like capacity to even do this podcast. Then we work so hard to even like be able to get these episodes up weekly, right? And then our big goal, I know this year, was to get our newsletter up, which we did, which was amazing, right? Our goal next year is to get more newsletters out, right? And I think you don't see like how hard we're working on this, and we have so, oh, is it sunny? Um, we have so many goals, but I'm gonna let Jackie take over because I need to fix the sun for this sweet boy so he's not blood.
Poor guy. He's like, Mom. Yeah, something that I love watching YouTube videos. Like I love it. And I've been watching a lot of like vision board type stuff, and a lot of them are the same, and that's fine. Like, there's only so much you can talk about. But like one of them that I watched talked about, instead of starting over, because every single year, I think it's it's fun in our brains to be like, it's the new year. So this is like a new opportunity. And in reality, like every day is the new opportunity. And so that's why we've been focusing a lot on, yes, it's the new year, but like it's the same you. So like you have to know what you want to change within you to see those outside things happen, if that makes sense. And so this girl in this video was talking about, instead of thinking of it as like starting over, so like starting over, new year, it's like a realignment, right? Like if you take a wrong turn, then you're just recalibrating and like figuring out how to get back on course. And so I love the idea of like realigning and just making sure that the actions that I'm taking align with who I want to be. And I'm a very like visual. So in my little planner, I have a page in here called My Identity, and I've literally been writing who I am in here. And like these are the things that I want to make sure like that are priority to me. And so maybe if you are a pen and paper person or whatever, you take out just like a big sheet of paper and you just like write down like, who am I? Who do I want to be? Like, what things do I need to realign? That can be a really good way to figure out what you want to put on your vision board, because I love having visuals, obviously, like vision board, like pictures that I got from Pinterest. But I saw someone, she was like, you shouldn't have words on your vision board. I respond really well to words. When I read a quote or read certain words, it really triggers something in me, even more than pictures, if I'm being honest. And so I do have words and quotes, a few of them on my vision board that were like spoke to me. Like one of them has the word unbothered in it. And a few of my friends know, like, I'm trying to be an unbothered queen. That is something I've been hugely, that's the other thing we were talking about. But I was like, I have something else.
Yeah.
I think it's being unbothered. Like I'm trying so hard, and I'm human. So like clearly things are still going to bother me, but I've been working so hard on just being like, who cares? You
Yeah.
you want to think this about me? Who cares? You cut me off on the road. Who cares? Like as long as I'm not hurt and whatever, like who cares? Like I just want to be that person, because I think too often we're like, no, but I have to explain myself and I have to do this. Like I just want to be an unbothered queen and be like, if you want to know the real me, then you'll figure it out or whatever. I don't know. Just not let things, even little things, like not let things bother me like they do. So unbothered queen, that's like one huge thing. And then um what did I say before? Validating myself.
Yeah. I
Not
love
needing to
these.
tell, yeah, not needing to tell everyone everything for them to be like, good job, Jackie. Like I don't need to tell anyone my business. Like I just need to be working on it. I know they say that. I see that so often too, where people are like, do things in silence, because, and I think they say that because so often other people will see what you're doing and being like, oh, are you sure? You sure you want to do that? Like they try to come, sometimes it's, they're not trying to like hurt you in that way, but it's just like they come in and they're like, are you sure you want to be, are you sure that's the right thing for you? And then it makes you second guess. So like just being quiet and just being like, you're on the right course. Like, is this really what I want? Yes, cool, continue on. I don't know.
I feel
Random
like
thing.
sometimes like you always like I feel like that's the way we were taught is to look for like validation from others almost because I mean our whole life we had our thank goodness like a lot of us have parents that are telling us our whole life like they're validating us for us, right? And so then once they're not there anymore to validate us, we don't know how to validate ourselves because we were still not taught that skill sometimes. And it's okay if we're not, like it happens. Like this is just
Yeah.
natural things, right? And so I love that fact is like you're working on this skill because that wasn't a skill that was taught to you. And
Yeah.
it's okay to realize that some of these skills are not taught to you until you're like 30 and you're like, "Oh my God, I need to work on this thing. Like this thing is holding me back from I don't know what, but it is holding me back because it's something I've never even noticed that I need to work on." Right? And I think that's what me like when that happens, you realize that like your life is evolving. Like you are becoming a new person. Like every time you realize something about yourself that is like could be worked on, you are becoming a new person. Like that right there is huge thoughts. Those are huge thinking. Like just show up for yourself in that kind of way to always notice like hey and don't be like critical on yourself in that sense either where you're like picking yourself apart but like like if you pick up on a pattern that you have like that could be part of your goals and your vision for the year, right? But it's not just like a goal, it's visualizing who you want to become in this goal. So if your goal is to become the next store manager, right, then you need to visualize yourself as a store manager now and show up as that person you want to be, right?
Yeah.
And invite the people that are similar to that, right? I think we hear this so many times when we were doing network marketing, like the people that you should be like have in mind is the people you want to attract, like the audience you want to attract, people that are similar to you. And I think that's like the same concept here is like visualizing, like you need to visualize that whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just assume that we can't change who we are until we have a certain thing or reach a certain goal, look a certain way, change our environment in some way. And the reality is that none of that stuff is going to change like until you change. And I also meant to mention, I know I talk a lot about journaling. I think journaling is the most amazing practice.
Hold
And I know
on.
that people get,
You're good. You can keep
oh,
talking.
okay. I know people get really intimidated by journaling, but I have the reason that I know these things about myself, like the things that I want to realign, if you will, in my identity. I know these things because of my journaling. Because I've been journaling for so long, like I know I'll just take like I'll think of something and be like, I am really upset because of XYZ. And then I'll be like, why am I upset? Like, what about that upset me? And then as I continue to get into it, I'm like, oh, it's because I'm looking for them to validate me and tell me what a good job I'm doing. And I don't need that. Like I need to be telling myself. It's just that's how I've found out these little things about myself. I don't know if um I don't think I mentioned that.
Hello, y'all. I have no idea what we were talking about. Our boys pulled us away for a moment. That is real life, though. As a mom, I think so many times we don't realize how many times we're actually getting pulled away, which is great to like even talk about like what we're talking about now, right? Your visions and goals are going to change because things get happen. You get pulled away. You get sidetracked, right? Same thing with this podcast. Like, as much as we've been pulled away, we've been sidetracked, and we started a couple projects here and there, like, that's okay, right? Those are drafts we're going to come back to because 2026 is the year that we literally, I think we've been like saying this for a while. Like, we've been envisioning, okay, year one is this, year two is this, but year three is going to be different, right? Or are we up to year two? Year two, I guess we're up to technically.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean. Like we knew like, right, the buildup is going to happen. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think like it's great to have a plan, right? Like they always say like have a plan. I think a plan is great. Know where you're going, know what you want to work on, and it's not just mental things for me either. Like I want to learn to play the piano this year. I want to learn to be able to like play a round of golf with Glenn. I want to learn cursive better. There's things I want to be able to journal more, do more, what they call it analog, or like
mhm.
you're doing more like getting off your phone. Like that's a huge thing I'm working on. It's not just the mental stuff, working on my fitness. Like there's a lot of things. And I tried to represent those things, learning more about Judaism. I tried to represent those things on my vision board, but ultimately, like for me, having a list really helped me. Vision boards, I love the vision board. I'm going to put it right behind. I keep looking here because I'm going to put it right behind my desk.
It's just pretty looking.
But yeah, but I just think, life comes at you. And so it's great to have the plan and know what you want to work on this year, but also be able to kind of pivot a little bit because life comes at you and you can't. be down
Mhm.
on yourself for that. As long as you are trying to work on it and you make a fraction of a move and move the needle in the right direction, like you're winning. That's awesome, you
Yeah.
know?
I will link in the end, if you guys are watching on YouTube, I will link our episode a couple of weeks ago that talks about pivoting when you have a vision and all that. So you guys
Hmm.
can come back and catch up on that too. We really dived in there. But I'm so excited for this year. Like, I feel like this year, like, last year really I hit so many goals, so many milestones. Like, I'm just so excited for next year. Like, and again, I don't see it. I want again to emphasize I don't want to think about it as a full year though. I don't want to think about it as 365 days, like 12 months. Like, no, it's too much. Like, I feel like that's when my brain taps out. And like, by the end of the year, I'm not on the right track anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sucked up in the holidays. I'm sucked up here. Like, my goal, my vision, like, just dies. And I don't want that for this year. Like, this year is about taking the time I have, this freedom I have, and really making the most of it by checking in with myself and creating a plan that will let me use my time correctly and to get all the things done I want to get done and not be behind and not feel like I'm always behind. I also want this year to be one of those years where I really, really just do better for myself, not be on my phone as much, really keeping Shabbos in that way.
Yeah.
Really diving more into Judaism with Jackie, because I think that's been Jackie and I's goal for a while. So I think us working together is one of our goals, is like having those weekly meetings about whatever. And I think too, like giving to my family, spending more time with Matt, just us, right? And I think so much just like being a mom, but really pouring in the things that I love about being a teacher and a childcare provider into my responsibility of being a mom. So collecting all these books, right? I'm literally in Notion categorizing, making a whole database, which I'm obsessed with databases. I geek out on databases. Like I am that nerd that used to have a MySpace that she used to obsess with because she loves coding, right? Even and I did web design. I have a certificate like in high school that I did web design, like graduate with web design course, but I love that kind of stuff. So I am definitely going to be diving into creating a database where I can collect all of my son's books on there, and then I can go in and create lessons on each of those books because that's what I love. I like creating lessons based on books. And I think that is really like speaking to how much I want to get back into who I am and my passions and what makes me me. And because once I feel that passion, that love again for these things, I know my confidence and my like wanting to like create vlogs again, like showing up in that way, showing up for our podcast in that way, showing up for my family is going to change. And that's what this year's about, is really finding what makes me and diving in deep, deep, deep down and creating what I need to create to grow and blossom in the way I want to blossom. So that way, when we get to the end of 2026, I'm not sitting there like trying to swim and kick my feet and be like, I can't move. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Where's the wall? No, I know where the wall is. I know where my goal is.
Yeah. I also forgot to mention my words of the year. I have two of them. I wasn't
Yeah.
even gonna have a word of the year. Like I was like, I don't know. It just didn't feel right. And then I don't know, I thought of the first word, which was limitless. And I was like, that's what I need. I need to take the limits off of myself. The limits that are on me are because I put them there. And so I love that. Like just take the limits off. Like if you could have any life you wanted, I need to start dreaming like that again because I totally put the limits on myself. And I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Anyway, that was my first one. And then I was like, oh, cool, that's my word of the year. And then I don't know, I saw the word ambitious and I was like, oh, and normally when I think of ambitious, I think of like a job,
Mhm.
but I want to be ambitious in, like my growth this year, basically. Like if I could really like my growth, like me as a mom, me as a wife, me at taking care of myself, like I want to be more ambitious, meaning like I'm going to put more into all the things that are priority to me. And so I was like, those are my words. I just loved it.
I love that you have words. I don't really know if I have words. I
You
just,
don't have to. You don't have to. It just stuck. Like it felt right. If it
I
doesn't feel
mean,
right, don't push it.
yeah,
But it felt
I feel
right.
like I've done words before. I feel like that's just another tool, right? There's just so many
Yeah.
good tools out there, right? So when you think of a vision and goal, it doesn't have to be a checklist. It doesn't have to be a vision board. It could just be words, right? Like that could be your vision, is like using your word all throughout the year, right? So I love that idea. We're gonna wrap it up though. We do want to hear from y'all. We want to know what your goals and your visions are. So comment here where you're listening or let us know in our Facebook group. You can even personally message us, but I'm gonna be honest, I'm terrible at responding. It might take me 10 to 20 business days. I
The other
still
thing I'm working on.
yeah, me too.
Little.
I like think I just need to make designate it like once a week, like mental, like, all right, I'm gonna sit my booty down and I'm gonna respond. But anywho,
Yeah.
We want to know what your goals, your visions are, and if you need a part two, or let us know. We will come out with a part two, a little surprise episode. We do have all our other episodes planned, but anytime you have something you really want to hear from us, let us know. Go, Jackie.
And I was just gonna say I'm gonna put my vision board eventually in our Facebook group, so you can go check it out there. I'll let you see
I
what I.
will work on mine so Jackie can put mine up too, or I can comment mine eventually. I just, like I said, I haven't been in the mental space, and I don't want to make a vision board when I'm not in the mental space to do it.
Yep.
It's just not
Yep.
fair to
You have
myself.
time. You don't have to be done by the 1st of January. Like
Yeah.
you have time. You can go all throughout January. You can do whatever you
And
want.
also, maybe like I
Time
won't
is
come up with a month, like maybe I won't come up with like a 6 month vision board. Maybe it'll just be a monthly vision board for the rest of the year. Who knows? We love you all. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next Wednesday. And thanks for spending our 60th episode with us. Share it with a friend and see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye. Thanks for spending time with us today and being part of our Hermit Haven community.
We hope you enjoyed our cozy chat and are inspired to embrace your inner hermit.
Remember, even in the quiet moments, you're never alone on this journey because we are truly all in this together.
So until next time, stay cozy, stay true to yourself, and keep spreading love wherever you go.
Bye for now.
We'll see you next time.